Let me tell you something that's been driving me absolutely crazy about this offseason. We've got movement happening everywhere, and honestly, some of these decisions are making my head spin. So let's break down what's really going on in Major League Baseball right now, because there's way more to these stories than what you're seeing in the headlines. First off, Mike Shildt is back. Remember him? Former manager of the Padres and Cardinals, who shocked everyone by walking away from San Diego just a few weeks ago, despite A.J. Preller wanting him back for 2026. Well, he just landed with Baltimore as a coordinator of instruction for their upper-level minor league system. And here's the thing nobody wants to talk about openly. The guy received death threats for managing a baseball team. Kevin A.C., the best insider covering San Diego, reported that beyond the threats, Shildt was completely burned out. It was a brutal campaign for him mentally and emotionally. He didn't want to stay in San Diego, and he definitely didn't want to be a manager right now. So he's taking this new role with Baltimore to work with young players, which honestly sounds like exactly what he needs. Detroit's bringing back Tanner Rainey on a minor league deal with a spring training invitation. They designated him for assignment last week when he was projected to make $1.6 million through arbitration. This is the same guy who won a championship with the Nationals back in 2019. Sometimes you just need a fresh start at a lower commitment level. Now, here's where things get really interesting. The Angels and Anthony Rendon are reportedly discussing a buyout so he can retire without even playing the 2026 season. Think about that for a second. Rendon's entering his final year of that massive 7-year, $245 million contract. He's owed $38 million for 2026 alone. And the Angels are basically saying, you know what? We'd rather pay you to go away than have you take up a roster spot. That's brutal. But honestly, it makes sense. What's the point of keeping a player who's constantly injured? Give that spot to a rookie or someone who can actually contribute. The silver lining? Once 2026 ends, the Angels will have $38 million freed up for the 2027 free agency class. They could go after an ace, maybe even make a run at Tarek Skubal if they wanted. But here's the sad reality about the Angels. They're cursed when it comes to long-term contracts. Anthony Rendon, Albert Pujols, Mike Trout dealing with endless injuries, Robert Stevenson, who they paid 2 years ago, and he's constantly hurt. Every time they hand out big money, it blows up in their face. Thank God they didn't sign Chris Ryan back in the day. You could make an entire video about the worst contracts in Angels history without breaking a sweat. The Rockies are signing Parker Mushinski to a minor league deal with spring training invite. He's 30 years old, spent the last 3 years with Houston, posted a 5.45 ERA across 33 innings with a 17.4 strikeout rate and an 8.1 walk rate. His fastball sits around 90 miles per hour with a 35.2% hard hit rate. Colorado's out here looking for bargain solutions because, well, they're the Rockies. Houston's got a new assistant pitching coach. Ethan Katz is coming aboard, as reported by Chandler Rome from The Athletic. Katz previously worked with Joe Espada and has 5 years of experience as pitching coach with the White Sox. This guy helped develop Dylan Cease, Garrett Crochet, Lucas Giolito, and Carlos Rodon. That's some serious pedigree right there. The Rays are in discussions with former Orioles manager Brandon Hyde about joining their organization. They're looking to give him some position in the system, and apparently Hyde would be willing to work in their minor league system. He was a candidate to manage the Padres before they went with Mike Shildt. Sean Newcomb is generating interest from multiple teams for either a starting or relief role, similar to Ryan Helsley's situation. The difference is Newcomb actually has extensive big league experience as a starter. In 2025, he made 5 starts with Boston, 12 appearances total. Got designated for assignment, picked up by the Athletics, worked purely out of the bullpen, and posted respectable numbers. 1.7 WAR, 1.75 ERA across 36 relief appearances. He started 65 games in his career, while Helsley has only 69 starts total in the minors, not even the majors. Newcomb knows what he can give you as a starter. Honestly, he's been better as a reliever, and that's probably where he should stay. But if you want the money, you sign as a starter. Starters make more than relievers, even if you're not elite. Just ask Jonah Hicks, who's making $11 million despite being one of the worst pitchers in the league. Yesterday, the Blue Jays signed Dylan Cease to a 7-year, $210 million fully guaranteed contract. Fully guaranteed means if Cease gets injured, drops off performance-wise, pulls an Anthony Rendon or Steven Strasburg situation, or if they designate him for assignment in 4 years, those $210 million are hitting his bank account no matter what. Toronto's going all in, and we'll see if it backfires. Cease is an incredibly inconsistent pitcher. Great stuff, bad results sometimes. His career numbers against the AL East are rough. 6.04 ERA against Boston with a 1.66 WHIP, 5.34 ERA against the Yankees with a 1.25 WHIP, 5.23 against Tampa with a 1.62 WHIP. Only Baltimore has he handled decently at 3.89 ERA and 1.21 WHIP. People keep asking me if this means Toronto's giving up on Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Absolutely not. Reports came out just hours ago saying they're still interested in pursuing Vlad aggressively. He's their number one priority after signing Cease. They want to keep him desperately, and they should. Players like Guerrero don't grow on trees. It can take years, decades to find someone with his talent. In free agency, when they're available, they're incredibly expensive. Plus, some players don't even want to go to Canada despite it being a top 5 market, as Scott Boras likes to say. If Toronto has the money and Vlad wants to stay, you keep him, period. You can't let one of your best players walk. The Orioles are supposedly being aggressive this offseason. John Heyman reported they're interested in Framber Valdez, Kyle Schwarber, and Tatsuya Yume. They've also been linked to Pete Alonso and had conversations with Dylan Cease before he signed with Toronto. Baltimore doesn't mind giving up draft picks for players with qualifying offers. Valdez, Schwarber, and Alonso all have qualifying offers. Yumai doesn't, but you have to pay a posting fee to his Japanese team similar to Yamamoto. The Mets are signing minor league pitcher Robert Stock. Nothing major, just organizational depth. Tatsuya Yumai is expected to enter the United States in early December and meet with multiple teams. Once he's posted, teams have 45 days to sign him, whether he's Japanese or Korean. Otherwise, he stays in his country. I wouldn't be surprised if his situation resolves quickly because several teams that wanted him have dropped out. Teams with Japanese players who don't want to move their current Japanese players for this guy. So the competition might be more limited than expected. An anonymous MLB executive suggested to ESPN that the Dodgers could trade Tyler Glasnow this offseason. Makes sense when you think about it. They've got Ohtani, Yamamoto, Blake Snell, Sasaki potentially, plus depth guys like Gavin Stone, River Ryan, and Bobby Miller. They could use Glasnow to fill roster holes elsewhere. He's 32 years old, went 4-3 with a 3.19 ERA and 106 strikeouts in 90 innings this past year. Still owed $65 million over the next 2 seasons, plus a $30 million team option for 2028. If they decline that option, it becomes a player option at $21.5 million. Glasnow's biggest problem since Pittsburgh has been injuries. When healthy, he's a horse. He was Tampa's ace, became the Dodgers' number 2, but he's never healthy. Still, if they put him on the market, plenty of teams would be interested. Trading him would free up money they could use on Tarek Skubal or Freddie Peralta or Ranger Suarez. Boston knows their offense needs help, so they're targeting 2 elite power hitters. Names include Schwarber, Pete Alonso, Seiya Suzuki, JT Realmuto, and Alex Bregman. Heyman reported they're prioritizing a right-handed bat since they're loaded with lefties, but there's strong interest in Schwarber despite him being left-handed and limited to designated hitter. Here's the thing. They're paying Trevor Story $31 million, and he's not on the roster. They were paying Bregman $40 million. Now that's freed up. That's $71 million available. Give Schwarber $30, Alonso $30. You've still got $10 million left for bullpen help. They can absolutely afford 2 power bats. They need at least 1, ideally 2. If they don't sign anyone, they're going to struggle all season. John Heyman from the New York Post talked about the Yankees' plans. Cody Bellinger is their number 1 target right now. They want to keep him more than signing Yusei Kikuchi. They're looking seriously at Tatsuya Yume after his recent comments, and the Yankees don't have any Japanese players, which gives them an advantage over teams that do. Kikuchi's the backup plan if Bellinger goes elsewhere, maybe to the Mets, who want him badly. Finally, the Giants are signing left-handed pitcher Sam Hentges to a one-year, $1.4 million deal. He spent his entire career with Cleveland. Nothing spectacular, but it's a low-risk experiment. If it works, great. If not, they're not paying him crazy money and they can move on. That's where we stand right now. Lots of movement, lots of questions, and we're just getting started with this off-season madness.